The sun rises slowly over the rolling hills of Heartland, painting the sky in shades of gold and fire. The ranch is quiet, but that quiet is heavy, like the calm before a storm. Horses stir in the fields, their breath showing in the cold morning air. A new day has begun, but this is not just any day. Today marks the start of a new chapter, one that will test the strength of the Fleming-Bartlett family more than ever before. Shadows from the past still linger, and new challenges are waiting just beyond the gates of the ranch. Heartland has always been a place of healing, of second chances, but even the strongest hearts can be broken. This is Season 19, Episode 1, and nothing will ever be the same again. The morning at Heartland is alive with movement. The sound of hooves against the frozen ground echoes across the ranch as horses run freely, their manes catching the light of the early sun. The ranch hands are already at work, carrying feed buckets, checking the fences, and readying the stables. The air is crisp, and the smell of hay and earth fills the atmosphere. Everything feels routine, yet there is something different today. Something in the air feels unsettled. Inside the ranch house, the fireplace burns quietly, its warmth touching the edges of the wooden floor. The kitchen table is set for breakfast, but the chairs sit empty, waiting. Amy Fleming stands near the window, her hands resting lightly on the sill. Her gaze is far away, fixed on the horizon where the fields stretch endlessly. Her thoughts are heavy. She has been through loss, through rebuilding, through finding her way again. And yet this morning, she feels an ache she cannot explain. It is as if the land itself is whispering a warning, urging her to prepare for what is to come. Out in the barn, a familiar rhythm continues. Tools hang neatly on the walls, saddles rest across their stands, and the smell of leather and grain fills the space. Jack Bartlett, steady as always, runs his hand down the side of a chestnut mare, his voice calm and steady as he whispers reassurance. But even Jack, with his years of wisdom and strength, feels the shift in the air. He pauses, takes off his hat, and stares at the wide blue sky with a quiet sigh. He knows, deep down, that change is coming, and that Heartland must be ready to face it. The day begins like many others, but underneath the ordinary beats the steady pulse of destiny. Something new is waiting just beyond the fence, something that will challenge the ranch in ways no one expects. And as the morning unfolds, the heart of Heartland prepares to meet it head-on. The peace of the morning does not last long. A truck pulls into the ranch yard, its tires crunching over the gravel, breaking the stillness that Heartland has held onto so carefully. The engine hum fades as the vehicle comes to a stop, and for a moment there is silence again. Then the driver's door opens, and a man steps out. A stranger to most, but carrying with him a weight that feels instantly familiar. His clothes are dusty, his face lined with worry, and his eyes search the ranch as though he has come not just with a problem, but with a plea. In the back of his trailer, the sound of hooves shifts nervously. A horse kicks once, then again, the sound sharp against the metal walls. Amy turns from the house window, her heart quickening. She knows that sound. Not just the restlessness of a horse, but the fear in its rhythm. She hurries outside, her boots striking the wooden porch before hitting the gravel path. Jack, already suspicious, pulls his hat lower on his brow and waits near the barn, watching. The man approaches, his steps uneven, his voice careful when he finally speaks. "She needs help," he says, motioning toward the trailer. His voice cracks, carrying both desperation and guilt. "I was told this is the place, the only place that can save her." Amy feels the familiar pull in her chest, the instinct that has guided her all her life. But when the trailer door swings open, she freezes. Inside stands a horse unlike any she has worked with before. Wild, scarred, and trembling, its eyes wide with terror. This is not just a horse that has been mistreated. This is a soul that has been broken. The ranch hands gather quietly, their whispers filling the air, but no one dares step closer. The energy radiating from the animal is raw, almost dangerous. Jack steps forward, cautious but firm. "You can't just drop a horse like this here," he warns, his voice steady but heavy with concern. The stranger's eyes lower, his hands trembling. "Please, I have nowhere else to take her. If she stays with me, she won't survive." But if she stays with you, maybe she has a chance. Amy's gaze meets the horse's eyes, and in that instant, the world narrows. She sees not just fear, but a story waiting to be uncovered. A story of pain, survival, and perhaps redemption. Her pulse quickens, and though her mind screams caution, her heart whispers something else. This horse has come here for a reason. The moment stretches in silence, broken only by the sound of the horse's heavy breathing. The family stands divided. Jack with his doubts, the ranch hands with their fear, and Amy with her unshakable pull toward the unknown. This is not just a horse arriving at Heartland. This is the beginning of something much larger, something that will test every bond and every belief they hold dear. The air at Heartland feels heavier now. The wild horse has been led into an empty stall, its eyes darting around, body pressed against the wooden walls as if trying to escape. Every sound makes it flinch. The ranch that usually breathes calm now pulses with unease. Amy lingers by the stall, her hand resting on the wooden frame, her mind already racing through ways to help the broken creature. But she knows this won't be simple. Healing takes time, patience, and faith. Things not everyone in the family agrees they have to spare. Jack paces near the barn entrance, his jaw tight. "Amy, you need to think this through," he says, his voice edged with worry. "That horse isn't just scared, it's dangerous. We've taken in troubled horses before, but this one could tear the place apart." His words echo the fear already building among the ranch hands. Their eyes glance toward the stall, uneasiness carved on their faces. Amy doesn't answer right away. Instead, she watches the horse tremble, every breath filled with fight and fear. Deep inside, she feels a familiar conflict. She knows Jack is right, but something inside her won't let her step away. She whispers quietly, almost to herself, "She came here for a reason." That is when the sound of another truck cuts through the tension. The family turns as dust rises from the road. Another arrival. As the vehicle pulls in, hearts tighten with curiosity and dread. The door opens, and stepping out is someone they never expected to see. Ty's old mentor, Scott Cardinal. His presence alone brings a rush of memories, both comforting and painful. He removes his hat slowly, his eyes landing on the barn, then on Amy. "I heard about the horse," Scott says, his voice low but steady. "And I think you're going to need me for this one." The weight of his words lingers. Amy feels a rush of relief, yet also a surge of conflict. His arrival is no accident. The horse's wounds run deeper than she imagined, and Scott knows it. The stall door rattles as the animal kicks again, as if sensing the storm brewing outside as much as the storm inside the family. The ranch, usually a place of safety, now feels like a battleground of choices. Jack sees danger. The ranch hands see risk. Scott sees challenge. And Amy, she sees destiny. The divide grows sharper with each breath. And all the while, the wild horse waits, its eyes full of secrets that could change everything. The barn is quiet except for the restless thud of hooves against the stall walls. The wild horse snorts, its breath heavy, its body slick with fear. Dust floats in the beams of light cutting through the cracks of the wooden barn, turning the air into a haze. Everyone waits, holding their breath. But Amy knows waiting isn't enough. Slowly she steps forward, her boots tapping softly against the floorboards. Jack calls after her, his voice sharp with warning. "Amy, don't you dare!" But she doesn't stop. She knows this moment will decide everything. If the horse can't find trust here, it may never find it anywhere. Inside the stall, the animal's eyes roll white, its chest rising and falling too fast. Amy lowers herself slightly, her hands open, palms facing forward, her voice calm and steady. "It's okay," she whispers, almost like a prayer. "You're safe now." The words echo against the wood, softer than the pounding heartbeats in the barn. The horse stomps once, then twice, dust scattering under its hooves. It flinches back, but Amy doesn't move. Every part of her wants to, but she holds steady. She knows this is about more than taming a horse. This is about proving to herself, and to everyone watching, that healing is still possible even for the most broken soul. Scott steps closer, his tone low, guiding. Slow your breathing, Amy. Match hers. Don't chase her. Let her come to you. His presence steadies her, but Jack shakes his head, muttering, "This is madness." The divide in the family grows deeper with each second. Then, something shifts. The horse stops thrashing just for a breath. Its ears flick forward, its trembling slows. Amy takes that chance and whispers again, softer this time, her voice almost breaking. "You don't have to fight anymore." The barn is silent. Everyone leans forward, waiting. The horse exhales, a deep, trembling sound, raw and full of pain. It doesn't step forward, but it doesn't turn away either. In that single moment, Amy feels a thread of connection, fragile but real. Just then, a sharp crack echoes from outside. A fence breaking in the wind, or perhaps something more. The horse startles. The dust settles slowly in the barn, drifting like ash after a fire. The wild horse stands pressed against the far wall, its body tense, eyes flashing with fear. Amy steadies her breathing, wiping her scraped palms against her jeans, her gaze fixed on the animal. For a moment, no one speaks. The silence is thick, heavy, almost suffocating. Jack is the first to break it. "That's it. Enough. We can't keep this horse here." His voice is sharp, but underneath it carries something else. Fear, not just for the ranch, but for Amy. His protective instinct outweighs his patience. Amy turns to face him, her voice low but steady. "If we turn her away now, she'll die. You know it as well as I do." The words hang in the air like a challenge, and for the first time, Jack has no immediate answer. His silence is louder than his protests. Scott steps forward, his tone calm but urgent. "This horse isn't just a rescue. There's a story behind her. Scars like those don't come without reason. Someone out there knows what happened, and if we don't figure it out, she'll never heal." The idea strikes the family differently. To some, it sounds like hope. To others, it feels like opening the door to more danger. But to Amy, it feels like a truth she cannot ignore. She looks back at the trembling horse, her eyes softening. "She came here for a reason, and I'm going to find out why." Outside, the wind picks up, carrying with it the distant howl of coyotes. The ranch, usually a place of safety, suddenly feels exposed. The broken fence rattles and the wild horse pricks its ears, sensing the tension in the air. The sound is unsettling, almost like a warning. The episode closes not with peace, but with questions. Who left this horse in such a state? What dangers might follow her to Heartland? And what will it cost Amy, and the entire family, to uncover the truth? As the barn door creaks closed, the camera would linger on Amy's face, determination written across it. She knows the road ahead will not be easy. Heartland has faced storms before, but this one feels different. This one feels personal. And so as the screen fades to black, a single line echoes in the silence. "This is only the beginning." The barn door closes with a slow creak, but the echoes of the wild horse still ripple through Heartland. The family disperses in silence, each carrying their own thoughts. The sky outside shifts into twilight, painting the land in shadows. Heartland has seen many trials before, but this one feels different. This one feels like a storm building just beyond the horizon. Amy lingers by the porch, staring across the fields. The distant fence sways in the wind, broken from earlier, like a warning left behind. She can feel it in her bones. This horse has brought more than scars. It has brought a mystery that will test every bond they hold dear. Then, like flashes from a dream, glimpses of what is to come unfold. The wild horse rearing violently under the storm clouds, its cry echoing through the valley. Amy caught in the ring, her voice trembling as she reaches for trust that feels almost out of reach. Jack slamming his hat down, frustration boiling as family loyalty clashes with fear. Scott leaning over the horse's scars, whispering, "These weren't from accidents. Someone did this." And a final image. Headlights approaching the ranch late at night. A figure stepping out of the shadows, their face hidden, but their presence filled with menace. The music swells, haunting and relentless, pulling the audience deeper. The land of Heartland, usually a place of healing, suddenly feels like the stage for secrets too dangerous to ignore. Amy's voice cuts through the storm in the final line of the preview. I don't know who brought her here, but I know they'll come back. The screen fades to black, leaving nothing but the echo of hooves and the sound of the wind. White text appears against the silence. Heartland Season 19, Episode 2, coming soon. And with one last whisper, the voiceover returns. This was Heartland Season 19, Episode 1 fanfiction. For more stories, don't forget to subscribe and watch now. The night settles over Heartland, the ranch wrapped in quiet shadows. The wild horse shifts in its stall, restless, unsettled, but no longer alone. Amy stands outside, her breath visible in the cold air, her heart still racing from the day's events. Behind her, the glow of the ranch house windows shines like a beacon, a reminder of family, of resilience, and of the unshakable spirit that has always carried them through storms. But tonight feels different. The broken fence creaks in the wind. The coyotes cry from the hills, and the silence carries a question that no one dares to ask out loud. What danger has followed this horse to Heartland? The answers remain hidden, but one thing is certain. The Fleming-Bartlett family has stepped into a new chapter, one that will demand more courage, more faith, and more love than ever before. The story of Heartland has always been about healing, of people, of families, and of the animals who find refuge on the ranch. And yet, this season begins not with peace, but with a warning. A scarred horse has arrived, carrying secrets that threaten to unravel everything they know. Amy feels it deep within her. This is not just another rescue. This is a test of trust, of destiny, and of the very soul of Heartland itself. As the camera would fade to black, the narration carries the final words like an oath. Every ending is a beginning, and every wound has a story. At Heartland, healing is never easy, but it is always worth the fight. The music softens, leaving only the whisper of the wind and the sound of hooves fading into the distance. Then the voiceover sharpens, clear and direct, a final call that invites the audience to continue this journey. This was Heartland Season 19, Episode 1 fanfiction. The story has just begun. Don't miss what comes next. Subscribe, stay with us, and watch now.